Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of our video newsletter. In this video I want to explain to you the steps and the process of a Marchman Act. In other words, what happens from the time that I get on the phone with the family until the time that the case gets closed. So I'm going to talk to you basically about Marchman, but this can also apply in theory to guardianship, and you should certainly talk to Audra, my partner, about that sort of stuff. But I'm going to talk about Marchman just for now. So typically, actually in both Guardian and Marchman, we're going to have a conversation with the family. It's what we call triaging the case. In other words, it's kind of like getting the history, like what's been happening, why has it been happening, what have you tried, has it been successful, has the person been to treatment, if so, how many times, how long did they stay, did they relapse, what's the longest they've ever stayed in recovery. It's really sort of a look-see for us as lawyers, to figure out if we can actually help you. And as you probably have figured out by watching some of my videos now, I'm going to be brutally honest with you and tell you if we can't help you, even if you don't like to hear that. I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay, so let's say that we decide that this is a case that we could file. Okay, and specifically to Marchman Act, and you as the family decide you want to retain us. So once we've taken care of the financials and you've signed our retainer agreement. So if I tell you I'm going to do X, Y, Z, I'm going to put it in writing to you, and I'm going to sign my name to it so you know what you're getting and you can expect from me. So once that's been taken care of, the first step in Marchman is to file a petition for assessment, and that may be done on an emergency basis. It may not be done on an emergency basis. The court may grant an emergency request, or it may not. And really, in terms of whether or not we file it as an emergency, meaning without a hearing, that's sort of a conversation, and a procedural issue we'll sort of, discuss with you, right? If it's an emergency, we've got to move quickly. So the first part of Marchman is getting the assessment done. Without an assessment, there's going to be no treatment ordered. The statute requires that the judge or the magistrate have an assessment in hand, okay, that basically says to them, I've done an assessment, this is the history, I've spoken to the person, I may have drug tested them, whatever the case is, and I'm making a clinical recommendation for treatment, okay? So that gets done, okay? The second part is treatment, right? Getting the person to the treatment facility. So that does require a hearing. It has to have a hearing. And so we will file a petition for treatment services. So the first petition is petition for assessment and stabilization. The second petition is petition for treatment services. And that basically says to the clerk of the court, okay, the assessment's been done, and now we need a hearing. Okay, so we're going to have a hearing, and the clerk will set it for a specific date and time. And every county pretty much has one day a week where they conduct these hearings. Now, if you're in South Palm Beach County, it's going to be on Wednesday. If you're North Palm Beach County, it's Thursday. If you're Broward, it's Tuesday. So every county, and we've filed these cases in lots and lots of counties, has a specific designated day where they're going to conduct the hearing. Now, at the hearing, your loved one can say, I'm going to go to treatment. I understand I need help, and I'm going to go. The judge enters an order, and typically it's up to 90 days, and off they go. Now, if they don't agree, then there's going to be a hearing. That's kind of like a small trial, right? And we're going to present our testimony. And at that point, the judge or the magistrate will make a determination as to whether or not they meet criteria. Now, obviously, during the triage process that I talked about, we're going to make sure we have enough evidence, and, absent some technical deficiency, that person's going to get ordered into treatment anyway. So that's sort of, the Marchman Act process in a nutshell. But, obviously, I get it. It's a complicated thing, and obviously for families that we're working with, they're going to have questions, and I'm obviously always happy to answer them. I would also tell you, if you go to the website, drugandalcoholattorneys.com, on the front page, if you scroll down, you'll see a link to our ebook that I wrote. It's only a 20-minute read, and I suggest that you download it. Why? Because it'll explain the process of both Marchman and guardianship. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And with that said, stay safe and be well.